Imagine going to a party, meeting the most beautiful person you have ever seen in your life, dancing with them, feeling like the whole world stopped just for the two of you. And then they disappear. No name, no address, nothing, just a memory. And a silver dress left behind in your mind forever. That is exactly what happens to Benedict Bridgerton in season 4. And trust me, this love story is going to break the internet. Netflix just dropped details about the most awaited season of Bridgerton. And if you think you have seen drama before, you have seen nothing yet. A masquerade ball, a secret identity, a woman who is two people at once, and a man who is completely, hopelessly, helplessly falling apart over someone he cannot even find. This season is not just a love story, it is a puzzle, and every single piece is more exciting than the last dot. So before we get into everything Netflix has been hiding from us, let me take you back to where it all started. Because to understand why Benedict's story hits so differently, you need to understand the world he is living in. The Bridgerton family is not just any family. They are the family that took over Netflix and refused to let go. Since the very first season dropped in December 2020, people all over the world sat down to watch one episode and ended up finishing the whole season in one night. That is the kind of show Bridgerton is. It does not give you a single reason to stop watching. Season 1 gave us Daphne Bridgerton and Simon Bassett. It was a love story built on a fake arrangement that turned into something very real, very fast. Two people pretending to be in love slowly realizing they actually were. The tension, the stolen glances, the arguments that felt like electricity. Season 1 set the bar incredibly high and the audience was completely hooked from the very first episode. Then season 2 came in and somehow managed to raise that bar even higher. Anthony Bridgerton, the oldest brother, the one who always had everything under control, completely lost that control the moment Kate Sharma walked into his life. These two could not stand each other and could not stay away from each other at the same time. That push and pull between Anthony and Kate became one of the most talked about love stories in the history of Netflix. People are still talking about it today. Season 3 shifted the spotlight to Colin Bridgerton and Penelope Featherington. Now this one was special because fans had been waiting for this love story since the very beginning. Penelope had been quietly in love with Colin for years, hiding her feelings behind a warm smile while carrying a secret that could destroy everything. When their story finally came together, it felt like a reward for every fan who had been patient enough to wait for it. And now here we are at season 4. The baton has been passed to Benedict Bridgerton, the second oldest son, the artistic one, the dreamer, the one who never quite fit into the neat little box that society tried to put him in. Benedict has always been different from his brothers. He does not chase titles or power. He chases feeling. He chases beauty. He chases meaning. And in season 4, he is finally going to chase love. But love, in the world of Bridgerton, is never simple. It never comes easy. And it never arrives without a secret attached to it. There is always one person in every family who does not quite fit the mold. The one who sits at the dinner table with a faraway look in their eyes, thinking about something no one else can see. The one who feels everything a little too deeply and loves a little too freely. In the Bridgerton family, that person is Benedict. While his older brother Anthony was busy running the family and managing every responsibility placed on his shoulders, Benedict was in his art studio, brush in hand, painting the world the way he wished it actually was. While Colin was traveling across Europe writing in his journals, Benedict was the quiet observer in the room, watching people, reading faces, understanding things without anyone having to say a word. He has always been the most sensitive Bridgerton, the most open, the most human, and that is exactly what makes his love story so different from every season that came before it. Anthony fell in love through conflict. Colin fell in love through friendship. But Benedict falls in love through a single moment, one night, one woman. One feeling so powerful that it rewires his entire world. And when that moment disappears, before he can even understand what hit him, he spends the rest of the season chasing something he cannot name, searching for someone whose face he memorized in just a few hours. Luke Thompson plays Benedict in Season 4, and if you have been watching the show since the beginning, you already know that Luke has been quietly delivering some of the best performances in the entire series. He always had this effortless charm about him, this ability to walk into a scene and make you feel like Benedict is the most interesting person in the room without even trying. But Season 4 finally gives Luke Thompson the full stage. No more side stories, no more background moments. This is his season entirely, and from everything Netflix has revealed so far, he is absolutely ready for it. Benedict Bridgerton is 28 years old, unmarried, and completely unbothered by what society thinks about that, while every mother in the town is pushing their daughters toward him, hoping to catch his attention. Benedict is unimpressed by all of it. The fancy balls, the rehearsed conversations, the perfectly dressed women saying perfectly rehearsed things, none of it moves him. He has been through the motions of high society his entire life, and he is tired of how hollow it all feels. He wants something real. He wants someone who makes him feel like the world is bigger than ballrooms and titles and family names. He just has no idea that the universe is about to deliver exactly that to him, wrapped in a silver dress at a masquerade ball he almost did not even attend. Every generation has its own version of Cinderella, a story about someone who does not belong, stepping into a world that was never meant for them, shining so brightly that the most important person in the room cannot look away, and then disappearing before anyone can find out who they really are. Bridgerton Season 4 takes that story and dresses it up in Regency England silk, adds a layer of secrets so thick you could cut through them with a knife, and delivers it in a way that feels completely fresh and completely devastating at the same time. It all begins with a ball. But not just any ball. Violet Bridgerton, the beloved matriarch of the family, decides to host a masquerade. Every guest arrives in costume, faces hidden behind elaborate masks, identities left at the door. The whole point of a masquerade is that for one night, it does not matter who you are, where you come from, or what your last name is. Everyone is equal behind a mask, and for one woman in particular, that one night of equality is going to change her entire life. She arrives in silver. Not gold, not red, not the safe and forgettable colors that blend into the crowd. Silver, like moonlight walking through the door. Benedict Bridgerton, who has spent the entire evening leaning against a wall watching everyone else pretend to enjoy themselves, sees her the moment she walks in, and something shifts inside him that he does not have a word for yet. They talk, they dance, and in a room full of people performing their best versions of themselves, these two are somehow completely honest with each other. She makes him laugh. He makes her feel seen for a few hours. The noise of the entire world disappears, and it is just the two of them in a golden bubble that neither of them wants to leave. Benedict feels something he has never felt before in all his years of attending every grand event this season has to offer. He feels awake. And then she is gone. No goodbye, no name, no way to find her. Just the memory of silver and a feeling in his chest that refuses to go away no matter how many days pass. Benedict becomes a man obsessed, not in a dark or frightening way, but in the way that only someone who has finally tasted something real can be obsessed. He knows what he felt that night was not ordinary. He knows that woman was not ordinary, and he is not willing to walk away from that and pretend it never happened. So he starts looking. With the help of his sharp and wonderfully stubborn sister, Eloise, Benedict begins moving through society trying to find the lady in silver. But the ton is a big place full of closed doors and guarded secrets. And the woman he is looking for has more reason than most to keep herself hidden, because Sophie Beck is not a guest at the ball. She is not a debutante or a daughter of some noble house. She is a maid. And the life she gets to live for one magical night at that masquerade is nothing like the life she returns to when the music stops. Asterisk here is the thing about falling in love in Regency England. It was never just about two people. It was about families, reputations, social standing, and an invisible set of rules that everyone followed without question because breaking them meant losing everything. And when the man doing the falling is a Bridgerton, one of the most watched and most talked about families in all of London, the stakes are not just high, they are impossibly, breathtakingly high. Benedict does not know that the woman he danced with at the masquerade and the woman scrubbing floors in Lady Araminta household are the same person. That is the cruelest and most beautiful part of this entire story. He is out there searching for his lady in silver while Sophie Beck is standing right in front of him, hidden not behind a mask this time, but behind a maid's uniform and a life that society has decided is beneath him. And every single time they are in the same room together, that undeniable pull between them grows stronger, even though neither of them fully understands why yet. Sophie Beck is not a simple character. She is not just a girl waiting to be rescued by a man with a good last name. She is sharp. She is guarded. She has learned the hard way that the world is not kind to women who do not stay in the place they have been assigned. She carries her secret carefully because she knows what happens when people like her reach for things that were never meant for them. She has seen it. She has lived it. And yet, every time Benedict looks at her, really looks at her, she feels that armor starting to crack just a little. And that terrifies her more than anything else in her world. Then there is Lady Araminta again, played by the brilliant Katie Leung. If this season needs a villain, look no further. Lady Araminta is the kind of woman who understands power completely and uses it without hesitation. She is Sophie's mistress, the woman who holds every card in Sophie's life. And she is not the type to simply step aside and watch a Bridgerton fall for one of her servants without making things very complicated. Every scene she is in carries a quiet threat beneath the surface, the kind of danger that smiles at you across a dinner table while planning your destruction. And then there is Eloise. Beautiful, brilliant, wonderfully chaotic Eloise Bridgerton, who becomes one of the most important people in this entire story. She is the one person who gets close enough to the truth to see what is really happening between her brother and Sophie. Eloise has always been the Bridgerton who refuses to accept the world as it is and season 4 gives her the chance to do something genuinely meaningful with that energy. She becomes Benedict's greatest ally in the most unexpected way, and watching those two siblings navigate this impossible situation together is going to be one of the most emotionally satisfying parts of the entire season. Now here is what Netflix has confirmed. Season 4 drops into parts. Part 1 lands on January 29, 2026, with 4 episodes that are going to leave you completely unable to breathe. Part 2 arrives on February 26, 2026, with 4 more episodes that promise to deliver the kind of ending that Bridgerton fans have been dreaming about since Benedict first appeared on screen. 8 episodes total. 8 chances for this story to absolutely wreck you in the best possible way. The filming took place at the newly built back lots of Shepperton Studios outside London. And from every photo and clip Netflix has released, this season looks more cinematic and more gorgeous than anything the show has done before. The costumes, the lighting, the sets, everything has been turned up to match the emotional weight of a love story this complicated and this beautiful. So if you are the kind of person who has ever felt like you did not belong in the room you were standing in, if you have ever met someone and felt the entire world slow down around you, if you have ever had to hide who you really are just to survive in a world that did not make space for you, then Benedict and Sophie's story is going to feel like it was written specifically for you. Because at its heart, this is not just a story about a man looking for a woman in a silver dress. It is a story about two people who see each other completely in a world that is doing everything in its power to keep them apart. And that is the kind of story that never gets old.